inside the mind of a procrastinator. Written and published by Mindsmore. Introduction. Okay, let's be honest. We've all been there. That deadline is looming. The task list is growing longer by the minute, and yet, you find yourself inexplicably drawn to the allure of organizing your sock drawer, or perhaps researching the mating habits of Peruvian tree frogs. Procrastination. It's the universal dance of delay, the art of putting things off until the very last minute, even when we know it's not in our best interest. But why do we do it? What mysterious forces are at play within our minds, driving us to this perpetual game of postponement? In this book, we'll embark on a fascinating journey into the inner workings of the procrastinator's mind. We'll meet the characters who orchestrate this intricate dance of delay: the mischievous instant gratification monkey, the fearsome panic monster, and the rational decision-maker caught in the crossfire. We'll explore the psychology behind procrastination, uncovering the cognitive biases, emotional traps, and environmental triggers that keep us stuck in the cycle of someday. But this isn't just a voyeuristic peek into the procrastinator's world. This is a call to action. We'll equip you with practical strategies, powerful tools, and insightful techniques to break free from the shackles of procrastination and reclaim control of your time and your life. So if you're ready to ditch the someday mentality and embrace a life of purpose and productivity, turn the page and join me on this transformative adventure. It's time to conquer procrastination once and for all. We appreciate your support in helping us produce more content for you, so please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Chapter 1. Welcome to Someday Isle. All right, let's set sail for a land where the sun always shines, the cocktails are perpetually chilled, and the to-do list gathers dust in a forgotten corner. A place where the currency is leisure, the anthem is relax, and the most pressing decision is whether to binge watch another episode or finally try that new recipe for mango salsa. Welcome to Someday Isle, the idyllic paradise nestled within the mind of every procrastinator. Here, the grass is perpetually greener, the opportunities endless, and the motivation, well, let's just say it's scheduled to arrive sometime next week. Possibly. This is where dreams are hatched, grand plans are sketched on cocktail napkins, and ambitious goals are set for, you guessed it, someday. It's a land of endless potential, where that novel will be written, that business will be launched, and that marathon will be run, just not today. On Someday Isle, time flows differently. Deadlines are distant echoes, responsibilities are hazy figures on the horizon, and the present moment is an invitation to indulge in the sweet nectar of instant gratification. The air hums with the gentle strumming of ukuleles. The scent of freshly baked procrastination muffins wafts through the air, and the inhabitants lounge in hammocks, lost in the blissful oblivion of what could be. But don't be fooled by the alluring facade. Beneath the surface of this carefree paradise lies a subtle undercurrent of unease. A nagging whisper that perhaps those someday dreams are fading with each passing sunset. A creeping suspicion that the island's carefree inhabitants are, in fact, prisoners of their own making. See, the thing about Someday Isle is that it's deceptively easy to get comfortable. The hammocks are so comfy, the procrastination muffins so delicious, and the allure of endless possibilities so intoxicating. But while the residents of this island bask in the illusion of freedom, the real world keeps spinning. Deadlines approach, opportunities slip away, and the gap between aspiration and reality widens with each passing day. The truth is, Someday Isle is a master of disguise. It masquerades as a haven of relaxation, a sanctuary from the pressures of the real world. But in reality, it's a cleverly crafted trap, a seductive siren luring its inhabitants into a state of perpetual postponement. And at the helm of this island paradise, orchestrating the symphony of delay, is a mischievous character known as the Instant Gratification Monkey. This charming creature, with its insatiable appetite for immediate rewards and its aversion to anything remotely resembling effort, is the true ruler of Someday Isle. The instant gratification monkey is a master manipulator, a skilled illusionist who can transform even the most mundane distractions into irresistible temptations. It thrives on the promise of instant pleasure, whispering sweet nothings in your ear, urging you to succumb to the allure of the present moment. Why worry about that report due next week, it whispers. There's a new season of your favorite show on Netflix just begging to be binged. That workout can wait. It assures you this triple chocolate fudge cake is calling your name. And so the residents of Someday Isle succumb to the monkey's charms, their grand plans and ambitious goals fading into the background noise of instant gratification. They become masters of rationalization, experts at justifying their inaction, convincing themselves that tomorrow is a better day to start, to strive, to achieve. But as the days turn into weeks, and the weeks into months, a growing sense of unease begins to stir within the hearts of the islanders. The once bright colors of Someday Isle seem to dim, the carefree laughter replaced by a nagging sense of discontent. The truth is, deep down, we all yearn for something more than the fleeting pleasures of procrastination. We crave the satisfaction of accomplishment, the fulfillment of reaching our full potential. And that's where our journey begins. We'll venture beyond the sandy shores of Someday Isle, confront the instant gratification monkey, and explore the psychological forces that keep us trapped in the cycle of delay. We'll delve into the science of motivation, uncover the secrets of productivity, and equip you with the tools and strategies you need to break free from the allure of procrastination and embark on a path toward a life of purpose and fulfillment. So are you ready to leave the comforts of Someday Isle behind? Are you ready to face your procrastination head-on and unlock your true potential? The adventure awaits. Turn the page, and let's begin. Chapter 2. The Instant Gratification Monkey. A closer look. Remember that carefree resident of Someday Isle, the one lounging in the hammock with a half-eaten procrastination muffin and a far-off look in their eyes? Well, chances are they're under the spell of a certain mischievous creature, the instant gratification monkey. This isn't your average zoo-dwelling primate. No, this monkey is a master of mind games, a hedonistic hustler who lives for the thrill of the now. It thrives on instant rewards, craves immediate pleasure, and shudders at the mere mention of long-term goals. Think of it as the ultimate party animal residing in your brain, the one who always votes for fun over responsibility, Netflix over textbook and chocolate cake over kale smoothie. But where does this little rascal come from? Why does it have such a powerful hold over our decision-making? Well, it turns out the instant gratification monkey is deeply rooted in our evolutionary history. Back in the caveman days, our ancestors had to focus on immediate survival. Finding food, shelter, and avoiding saber-toothed tigers were the priorities. Long-term planning? Not so much. Our brains evolved to prioritize immediate rewards, a survival mechanism that ensured we'd seize opportunities when they arose. This present bias, as scientists call it, is why a juicy berry in hand was far more appealing to our ancestors than the promise of a bountiful harvest months down the line. Fast forward to the modern age, and while we're no longer dodging predators in the wilderness, our brains still operate on that same ancient wiring. The instant gratification monkey is a vestige of our evolutionary past, a reminder that our brains are hardwired for instant gratification. But here's the thing, while the monkey's impulses might have served us well in the prehistoric savanna, they often sabotage us in today's world. In a society that values long-term planning, delayed gratification, and sustained effort, the monkey's live for the moment. Mantra can lead us down a path of procrastination and unfulfilled potential. Think about it. How many times have you succumbed to the monkey's seductive whispers, choosing the immediate pleasure of scrolling through social media over the long-term satisfaction of completing a project? Or opted for the instant gratification of a sugary treat instead of the delayed reward of a healthy lifestyle? The monkey is a master manipulator, a cunning con artist who knows exactly how to push our buttons. It exploits our natural desire for pleasure, painting a rosy picture of instant gratification while conveniently downplaying the consequences of our choices. It's the voice that tells you just one more episode when you have a mountain of work to do. It's the whisper that convinces you you deserve a break when you should be sticking to your workout routine. It's the siren song that lures you into the endless scroll of social media, even when you know you have more important things to do. But the monkey's influence goes beyond just tempting us with distractions. It also plays a crucial role in shaping our perception of time. Remember that distorted sense of time on someday I'll? That's the monkey at work, warping our perception of deadlines and making us believe we have more time than we actually do. It's the reason we convince ourselves we can finish that project in a single all-nighter, even though it realistically requires weeks of dedicated effort. It's the illusion that makes us believe we can cram for that exam the night before, despite knowing that spaced repetition is the key to long-term retention. The instant gratification monkey is a master of deception, a skilled illusionist who can make time appear to stretch and contract at its whim. It thrives on our tendency to underestimate the time required to complete tasks, leading us down the slippery slope of procrastination. But here's the good news. While the monkey may be a powerful force, we're not entirely at its mercy. By understanding its tactics, recognizing its influence, and developing strategies to manage its impulses, we can break free from its grasp and reclaim control of our lives. In the chapters to come, we'll explore practical techniques for taming the instant gratification monkey, from harnessing the power of deadlines to cultivating mindfulness and developing self-discipline. We'll learn how to resist its seductive whispers, overcome its manipulative tactics, and make choices that align with our long-term goals and aspirations. So the next time you feel the monkey's pull, remember this: you have the power to choose. You can succumb to its demands for instant gratification, or you can take charge and steer your life in the direction you truly desire. The choice is yours. Chapter 3. The Illusion of Control. Why we overestimate ourselves. Picture this: you're standing at the foot of Mount Procrastination, a towering peak of tasks, deadlines, and responsibilities. At the summit, a flag flutters proudly, emblazoned with the words success and achievement. But the path to the top looks treacherous, winding through dense forests of "I'll do it laters" and over treacherous ravines of "I don't feel like it's." Now here's the kicker: despite the daunting climb ahead, a strange sense of optimism bubbles within you. "I've got this," you tell yourself. "I always work best under pressure." You envision yourself scaling the mountain in a single, heroic sprint, reaching the summit just as the deadline sun sets. This, my friend, is the illusion of control at play, a cognitive quirk that whispers sweet lies of effortless victory and last-minute triumphs. It's the reason we confidently add another task to our already overflowing plate, convinced we'll magically find the time to tackle it all. The illusion of control is a master of disguise, a sly confidence trickster that convinces us we possess superhuman abilities to bend time and defy deadlines. It's the reason we believe we can write that 10-page paper the night before it's due, master that presentation in a few hours, or clean the entire house before guests arrive, even though it's looked like a bomb went off in there for weeks. This illusion thrives on our innate optimism, our tendency to overestimate our abilities and underestimate the time and effort required to achieve our goals. It's fueled by past experiences where we might have actually pulled off a last-minute miracle, reinforcing the belief that we can always conquer Mount Procrastination with a single, caffeine-fueled bound. But here's the catch: while the occasional last-minute victory might be exhilarating, relying on this approach consistently is a recipe for disaster. The illusion of control sets us up for a cycle of stress, disappointment, and subpar performance. Think about it. When we procrastinate, we're essentially gambling with our time and energy, betting that we can defy the odds and produce quality work under immense pressure. And while we might occasionally win this gamble, the house always has the edge. The truth is, consistently operating in panic mode takes a toll. Stress hormones surge, creativity dwindles, and the quality of our work suffers. We end up submitting rushed assignments, delivering half-baked presentations, and generally feeling like we've shortchanged ourselves and our potential. The illusion of control also distorts our perception of time. We fall prey to the planning fallacy, a cognitive bias that makes us underestimate the time required to complete tasks, even when we have past experience to guide us. We convince ourselves that it won't take that long, only to find ourselves scrambling at the 11th hour, sacrificing sleep, sanity, and often the quality of our output. This warped perception of time is further exacerbated by the instant gratification monkey, our resident expert in instant rewards and short-term thinking. The monkey thrives in the present moment, whispering sweet nothings like, "You have plenty of time," and "You can always do it later." It encourages us to indulge in distractions, fueling the illusion that we have an endless supply of time at our disposal. But time, as we all know, is a finite resource. And the more we succumb to the illusion of control, the more we squander this precious commodity. We sacrifice valuable time that could be spent pursuing our passions, nurturing relationships, or simply enjoying the present moment. So how do we break free from this deceptive illusion? How do we climb Mount Procrastination with a clear head and a realistic plan? The first step is awareness. Recognize the seductive whispers of the illusion of control, the false promises of effortless victory, and last-minute triumphs. Challenge your assumptions about your abilities and the time required to achieve your goals. Next, embrace the power of planning. Break down large tasks into smaller, manageable chunks, and create a realistic schedule that accounts for potential setbacks and unexpected delays. Don't fall into the trap of relying on your future self to magically find the time and energy to complete everything at the last minute. Finally, cultivate a healthy dose of self-compassion. We all fall prey to the illusion of control from time to time. It's a natural human tendency. Instead of beating yourself up for past procrastination, focus on learning from your mistakes and developing strategies to overcome this cognitive quirk. Remember, conquering procrastination is not about becoming a superhuman who can defy deadlines and conquer mountains in a single bound. It's about recognizing our limitations, embracing realistic planning, and making conscious choices that align with our long-term goals and aspirations. So the next time you find yourself standing at the foot of Mount Procrastination, remember this: the illusion of control might whisper promises of effortless victory. But true success lies in acknowledging the challenge, planning your ascent, and taking one step at a time. Chapter 4. The Dark Side of Someday, Procrastination Without Deadlines. We've explored the sunny shores of Someday Isle, where the instant gratification monkey reigns supreme and the allure of instant rewards casts a powerful spell. But there's a darker, more insidious side to this land of perpetual postponement. A shadowy realm where procrastination lingers even in the absence of deadlines. Imagine a vast, open field stretching towards the horizon, a blank canvas of time with no marked paths or signposts. This is the domain of procrastination without deadlines, a place where the urgency of external pressure fades away, leaving only the siren call of someday. Here, the instant gratification monkey roams freely, its reign unchecked by the looming threat of deadlines. It whispers sweet temptations, promising endless leisure and carefree days, while quietly eroding the very foundation of our dreams and aspirations. In this boundless expanse of time, it's easy to lose sight of our goals, to let our ambitions drift aimlessly like tumbleweeds in the wind. The lack of external pressure can be deceptively comforting, lulling us into a false sense of security. We tell ourselves, "I have all the time in the world," but in reality, time slips through our fingers like grains of sand. This is where the true danger of procrastination lies. Without the impetus of deadlines, we become susceptible to the subtle erosion of our potential. The dreams we once held dear, the goals we once strived for, slowly fade into the background noise of everyday life. We might convince ourselves that we're taking our time, waiting for the right moment, or gathering inspiration. But deep down, we know that these are often just clever disguises for our fear of failure, our aversion to discomfort, or our tendency to overthink and overanalyze. In this deadline-free zone, procrastination can morph into a form of self-sabotage. We might endlessly research that business idea without ever taking the first step to launch it. We might dream of writing that novel but never actually put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard. We might yearn for a healthier lifestyle, but continue to postpone that first workout or healthy meal. The absence of deadlines can also lead to a sense of existential angst, a gnawing feeling that our lives lack purpose and direction. When we're not actively working towards something meaningful, it's easy to fall into a rut of routine and complacency. We might find ourselves going through the motions, day after day, without a clear sense of where we're headed or why. This is where the concept of existential procrastination comes into play. It's the tendency to put off making decisions about our lives, to avoid confronting the big questions about our values, our passions, and our purpose in the world. We might procrastinate on choosing a career path, pursuing a relationship, or even exploring our own identity. This type of procrastination can be particularly insidious because it often operates beneath the surface of our awareness. We might not even realize we're procrastinating, as it manifests as a general sense of apathy, indecision, or lack of direction. But the consequences of existential procrastination can be profound. It can lead to a sense of unfulfilled potential, a feeling that we're not living up to our true capabilities. It can also contribute to anxiety, depression, and a general sense of dissatisfaction with life. So how do we navigate this treacherous terrain of procrastination without deadlines? How do we find motivation and direction when there's no external pressure to guide us? The key lies in cultivating internal motivation, in connecting with our deeper values and aspirations. We need to find a sense of purpose that transcends the immediate gratification of the present moment, a driving force that compels us to take action even in the absence of external deadlines. This might involve exploring our passions, setting personal goals, or simply reflecting on what truly matters to us. It's about finding a sense of meaning and direction that fuels our actions and gives us a reason to strive, to grow, and to achieve. It's also crucial to develop self-discipline and cultivate habits that support our goals. Without the structure of deadlines, we need to create our own internal framework for accountability. This might involve setting personal deadlines, breaking down large goals into smaller, manageable steps, or finding an accountability partner to support us on our journey. Ultimately, overcoming procrastination without deadlines is about taking ownership of our lives, about making conscious choices that align with our values and aspirations. It's about recognizing that we are the architects of our own destiny, and that even in the absence of external pressure, we have the power to shape our lives in meaningful ways. So if you find yourself wandering through the vast expanse of procrastination without deadlines, remember this: you are not alone. We all face the challenge of finding motivation and direction when external pressure fades away. But by cultivating internal motivation, setting personal goals, and developing self-discipline, we can break free from the grip of procrastination and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. Chapter 5: Perfectionism, the Procrastinator's Disguise. Beneath the surface of procrastination often lurks a more subtle, yet equally powerful force: perfectionism. It's the insidious belief that anything less than flawless is unacceptable, a relentless pursuit of an unattainable ideal. While perfectionism might seem like a positive trait, it can be a major culprit in the procrastination game. The fear of failure, the dread of making mistakes, and the relentless pursuit of perfection can paralyze us, leaving us stuck in a state of inaction. Perfectionists often fall into a vicious cycle of procrastination. They set impossibly high standards for themselves, and when they inevitably fall short, they beat themselves up with self-criticism and doubt. This can lead to a sense of shame and inadequacy, further fueling the desire to avoid failure by avoiding action altogether. The perfectionist procrastinator might spend hours, days, or even weeks obsessing over every detail of a task, afraid to start for fear of making a mistake. They might rewrite a sentence countless times, agonize over the perfect word choice, or obsess over the formatting of a document. This constant striving for perfection can be incredibly time-consuming and ultimately counterproductive. In the end, the perfectionist procrastinator often ends up with a subpar result, as the fear of failure has prevented them from completing the task to their full potential. The irony is that by striving for perfection, they end up with something far less than perfect. This is where the instant gratification monkey comes in. It knows that perfectionism is a fertile ground for procrastination, and it's always ready to exploit this weakness. The monkey whispers sweet temptations, promising instant gratification through distractions and avoidance. It tells the perfectionist that it's okay to put off the task, that they can always do it later when they have more time and energy. But of course later never comes, and the task remains undone. The perfectionist procrastinator is trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, fear, and inaction, all fueled by the pursuit of an unattainable ideal. To break free from this cycle, it's important to recognize the destructive nature of perfectionism. We need to learn to embrace our imperfections, to accept that mistakes are a natural part of the learning process. It's okay to make mistakes, to fail, and to learn from our experiences. One way to combat perfectionism is to set realistic expectations. Instead of aiming for perfection, strive for progress. Focus on completing the task to a reasonable standard, rather than obsessing over every detail. Another helpful strategy is to break down large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. This can help to reduce feelings of overwhelm and make the task seem less daunting. It's also important to set deadlines for each step so that you can stay on track and avoid procrastination. Finally, it's crucial to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself and avoid self-criticism. Remember that everyone makes mistakes, and that it's okay to be imperfect. Focus on what you've accomplished rather than what you haven't. By embracing our imperfections, setting realistic expectations, breaking down tasks, and practicing self-compassion, we can break free from the grip of perfectionism and reclaim our productivity. We can learn to embrace the journey rather than obsessing over the destination, and find joy in the process of creating, learning, and growing. Chapter 6. The Deadline's Shadow. Remember that feeling? The one where you've been happily frolicking on Someday Isle, lost in the blissful embrace of procrastination, when suddenly a dark cloud appears on the horizon. It grows larger, more ominous, casting a long shadow over your carefree existence. That is the deadline approaching. It starts as a faint whisper, a nagging reminder in the back of your mind. But as the days dwindle, the whisper turns into a roar, a relentless drumbeat that throws the once peaceful island into a state of panic. The carefree laughter dies down, the hammocks are abandoned, and the procrastination muffins lie forgotten. A sense of urgency grips the island, a frantic energy that sends the residents scrambling for cover. The deadline is a powerful force, a looming presence that can transform even the most laid-back procrastinator into a whirlwind of activity. It's the ultimate motivator, the catalyst that finally pushes us to confront the mountain of tasks we've been diligently avoiding. But the deadline's power is a double-edged sword. While it can spur us into action, it can also trigger a cascade of stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. The pressure to perform, the fear of failure, and the sheer volume of work can leave us feeling like we're drowning in a sea of responsibilities. This is where the panic monster emerges from the depths of our minds, a fearsome creature fueled by adrenaline and cortisol. It's the embodiment of our anxieties, the physical manifestation of our fear of failure. The panic monster is a formidable opponent, a master of chaos and disruption. It thrives on our stress, feeding on our anxieties and amplifying our fears. It whispers doubts in our ears, reminding us of past failures and painting a bleak picture of the consequences of missing the deadline. You're going to fail, it screams. You'll never get it all done. Everyone will think you're a loser. Its voice is relentless. its presence overwhelming. It can send our hearts racing, our palms sweating, and our minds spiraling into a vortex of worry and self-doubt. But the panic monster isn't all bad. In fact, it can be a surprisingly effective motivator. Its fear-inducing tactics can jolt us out of our complacency, forcing us to confront the reality of the situation and take action. Think of it as a fire alarm, a jarring wake-up call that snaps us out of our procrastination-induced slumber. It's the adrenaline rush that fuels our last-minute sprints, the surge of energy that allows us to pull off seemingly impossible feats of productivity. The key to harnessing the panic monster's power lies in understanding its nature. We need to learn to recognize its triggers, anticipate its arrival, and manage its influence. One effective strategy is to break down large tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. This can help to reduce feelings of overwhelm and make the task seem less daunting. It also allows us to celebrate small victories along the way, boosting our confidence and reducing the panic monster's grip. Another helpful tactic is to create a realistic schedule and stick to it. This provides a sense of structure and control, reducing the likelihood of last-minute panic. It also allows us to allocate our time and energy effectively, ensuring that we're not overwhelmed by the sheer volume of work. Finally, it's crucial to practice self-compassion. We all experience the panic monster from time to time. It's a natural response to pressure and deadlines. Instead of beating yourself up for feeling anxious or overwhelmed, acknowledge your emotions and focus on taking constructive steps to manage them. Remember, the deadline's shadow can be a source of both stress and motivation. By understanding the panic monster's role, we can learn to harness its power for good, transforming it from a fearsome foe into a surprisingly effective ally in our quest to conquer procrastination. Chapter 7. The Physiology of Panic, Adrenaline and Cortisol. The panic monster isn't just a figment of our imagination. It's got a whole physiological entourage backing it up. Think of it as a biochemical drama unfolding in your body, with adrenaline and cortisol as the lead actors. When that deadline starts looming and the panic monster crashes the party, your brain flips the switch on your body's stress response system. It's like a built-in alarm system, designed to kick you into gear when faced with a perceived threat, in this case, the impending doom of a missed deadline. First on the scene is adrenaline, the body's fight-or-flight hormone. It's like a shot of espresso straight to your system, sending your heart racing, your breathing quickening, and your senses sharpening. You might feel a surge of energy, a sudden burst of focus, and an overwhelming urge to do something, anything to escape the perceived danger. Adrenaline is the reason you can suddenly power through an all-nighter, fueled by a potent cocktail of stress hormones and caffeine. It's the force that enables you to crank out pages of that paper, finish that presentation, or clean your entire house in a frenzy of last-minute productivity. But adrenaline is a fickle friend. While it can provide a temporary boost, it also comes with a host of side effects. Your sleep suffers, your immune system takes a hit, and your ability to think clearly and creatively diminishes. You might find yourself making careless mistakes, struggling to focus, and feeling generally jittery and on edge. Enter cortisol, the body's stress hormone. Cortisol is like the manager of the stress response, ensuring your body stays in high alert for the long haul. It helps you sustain energy levels, regulates your metabolism, and keeps your immune system in check, though chronic stress can eventually weaken it. In the short term, cortisol can be helpful, providing the stamina you need to tackle that mountain of tasks. But when cortisol levels remain elevated for extended periods, it can wreak havoc on your body and mind. You might experience increased anxiety, difficulty sleeping, digestive problems, and even impaired cognitive function. Think of it this way. Adrenaline is the sprinter, providing a quick burst of energy, while cortisol is the marathon runner, ensuring you can go the distance. Both are essential for the stress response, but when they're constantly activated, they can take a toll on your overall well-being. Now, here's where things get interesting. The panic monster, with its adrenaline-fueled antics, can actually be a helpful motivator in small doses. That surge of energy and focus can be just what you need to break through procrastination and get things done. But the key is to manage the panic monster, not let it manage you. If you're constantly operating in a state of high stress, your body and mind will eventually pay the price. So how do you keep the panic monster in check? Here are a few strategies. Break down tasks. Instead of facing a monolithic mountain of work, break it down into smaller, more manageable chunks. This can help reduce feelings of overwhelm and make the task seem less daunting. Plan ahead. Don't wait until the last minute to start working on a project. Create a realistic schedule and stick to it as much as possible. This helps you avoid the adrenaline-fueled frenzy of last-minute cramming. Practice relaxation techniques. Incorporate stress-reducing activities into your routine, such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, or yoga. These practices can help calm your mind and body, reducing the impact of the panic monster's cortisol-fueled rampage. Prioritize sleep. Sleep is essential for both physical and mental health. When you're well rested, you're better equipped to handle stress and make clear decisions. Seek support. Don't be afraid to reach out to friends, family, or a therapist if you're struggling with anxiety or overwhelm. Talking about your feelings can help you gain perspective and develop coping strategies. Remember, the panic monster is a natural part of the procrastination experience. It's your body's way of responding to pressure and deadlines. But by understanding its physiological underpinnings and developing strategies to manage its influence, you can transform it from a fearsome foe into a manageable and even helpful aspect of your journey towards conquering procrastination. Chapter 8. The Procrastination Roller Coaster, a Wild Ride. Buckle up, because procrastination isn't a straightforward journey. It's a roller coaster ride with dizzying highs, stomach-churning lows, and unexpected twists and turns. Let's take a spin on this emotional thrill ride, shall we? The ascent, the thrill of delay. The ride begins with a surge of exhilaration. You've just pushed that task aside, silenced that nagging voice of responsibility, and embraced the sweet freedom of someday. The Instant Gratification Monkey is at the helm, steering you towards the land of leisure and immediate rewards. You feel a sense of relief, a weight lifted off your shoulders. You tell yourself, "I'll get to it later," and for a fleeting moment you truly believe it. You bask in the illusion of endless time, indulging in distractions and reveling in the carefree abandon of procrastination. This is the honeymoon phase, the peak of the procrastination roller coaster. You're riding high on dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical, as you indulge in activities that bring instant pleasure. Social media beckons, video games entice, and that Netflix series seems to be calling your name. But as you climb higher, a subtle unease begins to creep in. The initial thrill of delay starts to fade, replaced by a nagging sense of guilt and a growing awareness of the looming deadline. The plunge, the anxiety of avoidance. Suddenly, the roller coaster takes a sharp plunge. The carefree euphoria evaporates, replaced by a knot of anxiety in your stomach. The deadline, once a distant speck on the horizon, is now a looming presence, casting a long shadow over your once carefree existence. The panic monster awakens, its fear-inducing roar echoing through your mind. It reminds you of all the tasks you haven't started, all the responsibilities you've neglected, and all the potential consequences of your procrastination. You might experience a surge of adrenaline, a desperate urge to catch up and make up for lost time. But the sheer volume of work can feel overwhelming, leaving you paralyzed by indecision and self-doubt. This is the low point of the procrastination roller coaster, a pit of anxiety and self-recrimination. You might berate yourself for your lack of discipline, your inability to manage your time effectively, and your tendency to succumb to distractions. The loop-de-loop, the frenzy of last-minute action. Just when you think the ride can't get any wilder, it throws you into a loop-de-loop. The deadline is now imminent, the pressure is at its peak, and you're forced into a frenzy of last-minute activity. Fueled by adrenaline and cortisol, you enter a state of hyperfocus, working at a breakneck pace to complete the task at hand. You might sacrifice sleep, meals, and social interactions as you race against the clock. This can be a surprisingly productive phase, as the panic monster's fear-inducing tactics can be a powerful motivator. You might find yourself accomplishing tasks you never thought possible, fueled by a potent cocktail of stress hormones and desperation. But this frantic energy is unsustainable. You might make careless mistakes, overlook important details, and compromise the quality of your work. The stress can take a toll on your physical and mental health, leaving you feeling exhausted, depleted, and dissatisfied. The final descent, the aftermath. Finally, the roller coaster begins its final descent. You've submitted the assignment, delivered the presentation, or completed the task, just as the deadline buzzer sounds. You might feel a sense of relief, a wave of accomplishment, and perhaps a touch of pride for having pulled it off again. But this sense of accomplishment is often tinged with regret. You might reflect on the stress and anxiety you endured, the sacrifices you made, and the compromises you made in the quality of your work. You might vow to never procrastinate again, to break free from this vicious cycle once and for all. But as the adrenaline fades and the panic monster retreats, the allure of someday I'll beckons once more. The instant gratification monkey whispers sweet temptations, promising a return to the carefree land of leisure and immediate rewards. And so, the cycle begins anew. The procrastination roller coaster is a wild ride, filled with emotional highs and lows, unexpected twists and turns. But by understanding its dynamics, recognizing its patterns, and developing strategies to manage its influence, we can learn to navigate this emotional thrill ride with greater awareness and control. We can learn to anticipate the ascent, brace ourselves for the plunge, and navigate the loop-de-loop with greater skill and resilience. And perhaps, with practice and self-compassion, we can even find a way to step off the roller coaster altogether and embark on a more fulfilling journey towards our goals and aspirations. Chapter 9. Types of Procrastinators. Are you an avoider, an indecisive, or an arousal seeker? Just like snowflakes and fingerprints, no two procrastinators are exactly alike. Sure, we all share that knack for putting things off, but the underlying motivations, the preferred procrastination styles, and the emotional baggage we carry can vary wildly. Think of it as a diverse cast of characters, each with their own unique backstory and approach to the art of delay. So, which type of procrastinator are you? Let's meet some of the usual suspects. The avoider. This type of procrastinator is driven by fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. They avoid tasks like the plague, hoping they'll magically disappear or someone else will miraculously take care of them. Avoiders are masters of distraction, finding ingenious ways to fill their time with anything but the task at hand. They'll suddenly become fascinated by the intricacies of dust bunny formation, or embark on a deep dive into the history of paperclips. Anything to avoid facing the dreaded task. This avoidance often stems from a lack of confidence or a fear of not being good enough. Avoiders might have a history of negative experiences with criticism or failure, leading them to believe that it's safer to avoid the task altogether than to risk facing potential judgment. The indecisive. These procrastinators are paralyzed by choice. They struggle to make decisions, endlessly weighing the pros and cons, analyzing every possible outcome, and second-guessing themselves at every turn. Indecisives are often perfectionists at heart, striving for the perfect choice, the ideal solution. But this pursuit of perfection can be a trap, leading to endless analysis paralysis and a complete inability to take action. They might spend hours researching the best brand of coffee maker, agonizing over which color to paint their living room, or endlessly debating the merits of different productivity apps. But all this decision-making fatigue often leads to inaction, as the fear of making the wrong choice outweighs the desire to make any choice at all. The arousal seeker. This type of procrastinator thrives on the thrill of the last minute. They deliberately delay tasks until the deadline is looming, creating a sense of urgency and excitement that fuels their productivity. Arousal seekers are adrenaline junkies, addicted to the rush of working under pressure. They might find that they're most creative and productive when the clock is ticking and the stakes are high. While this approach might seem effective in the short term, it can be a dangerous game. The constant reliance on adrenaline can lead to burnout, stress, and subpar performance. Arousal seekers might also find it difficult to sustain motivation for tasks that don't have a clear deadline or sense of urgency. The thrill seeker, closely related to the arousal seeker, this procrastinator gets a kick out of defying the odds and pulling off last-minute miracles. They enjoy the challenge of completing tasks under pressure, proving to themselves and perhaps others that they can handle anything. Thrill seekers might take on more than they can realistically handle, deliberately creating a situation where they're forced to work under pressure. They might even enjoy the chaos and drama of last-minute scrambling, seeing it as a testament to their ability to handle anything life throws their way. However, this approach can be unsustainable and detrimental to their well-being. The constant stress and pressure can take a toll on their mental and physical health, and the quality of their work might suffer as a result. The busy bee procrastinator. This type of procrastinator is always busy, always on the go, but somehow never seems to get anything important done. They fill their days with low-priority tasks, errands, and social commitments, creating an illusion of productivity while avoiding the truly important tasks that require focus and dedication. Busy bees might be motivated by a fear of boredom or a need to feel important and in demand. They might also be avoiding deeper emotional issues or difficult decisions by keeping themselves constantly occupied. While staying busy might seem productive on the surface, it can be a form of procrastination in disguise. Busy bees often end up feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, and unfulfilled, as they're constantly putting out fires instead of pursuing their true goals and aspirations. Of course, these are just a few examples of the many different types of procrastinators. You might find that you identify with one type more than others, or you might see yourself as a blend of different styles. The important thing is to recognize your own procrastination patterns and understand the underlying motivations that drive your behavior. By understanding your procrastination style, you can develop strategies to overcome your unique challenges and break free from the cycle of delay. You can learn to manage your fears, make decisions more effectively, cultivate self-discipline, and find healthier ways to motivate yourself. So take a moment to reflect on your own procrastination habits. Which type of procrastinator do you identify with? What are your unique challenges and motivations? By understanding your own procrastination style, you can take the first step towards conquering this universal human tendency and reclaiming control of your time and your life. Chapter 10. Procrastination and Technology, the Digital Distraction. Technology, the double-edged sword of the modern age. On one hand, it's a productivity powerhouse, putting a world of information and tools at our fingertips. On the other, it's a procrastination paradise, a bottomless pit of distractions vying for our attention. Remember the instant gratification monkey? Well, technology is its playground, a wonderland of instant rewards and endless stimulation. Social media notifications ping, emails flood our inboxes, and the endless scroll of online content beckons, promising a quick hit of dopamine with every click. It's no wonder we find ourselves falling prey to the digital distraction. Our brains are wired for novelty and stimulation, and technology delivers it in spades. Every notification, every like, every new piece of information triggers a mini reward in our brains, reinforcing the habit of checking, scrolling, and refreshing. But this constant state of digital distraction comes at a cost. Our attention spans shrink, our ability to focus dwindles, and our deep thinking skills erode. We become masters of multitasking, juggling a dozen different tabs and apps, but masters of none. The digital world is a master of interruption. a constant barrage of pings, notifications, and updates vying for our attention. We start to work on a task only to be interrupted by a text message, a social media notification, or an email alert. Each interruption breaks our concentration, forcing us to restart our cognitive engines and expend precious mental energy. This constant switching between tasks takes a toll on our productivity. Studies have shown that it can take up to 25 minutes to regain focus after an interruption. And with the average person checking their phone every 10 minutes, it's no wonder we struggle to stay on track. Social media, with its endless stream of curated content, is a particularly potent procrastination tool. We scroll through perfectly filtered photos, witty captions, and carefully crafted narratives, comparing ourselves to others and feeling inadequate in the process. This can lead to a downward spiral of self-doubt and procrastination, as we avoid tasks that might expose our perceived flaws or shortcomings. But social media isn't the only culprit. The internet itself is a vast ocean of distraction, with endless rabbit holes to explore and fascinating tangents to pursue. We start researching a topic for work, only to find ourselves hours later watching cat videos or reading about conspiracy theories. Even seemingly productive tools can become procrastination traps. Email, for example, can be a constant source of interruption and distraction. We feel compelled to respond to every message immediately, even if it's not urgent or important. This can lead to a constant state of reactivity, as we spend our days putting out fires instead of focusing on our own priorities. So how do we navigate this digital minefield? How do we harness the power of technology without falling prey to its seductive distractions? The first step is awareness. Recognize the ways in which technology is hijacking your attention and disrupting your focus. Pay attention to how often you check your phone, how many tabs you have open, and how easily you get sidetracked by online content. Once you're aware of your digital habits, you can start to implement strategies to manage them. Here are a few ideas. Set boundaries. Create designated times for checking email and social media, and stick to them. Turn off notifications when you need to focus on a task. Use technology to your advantage. Utilize productivity apps, website blockers, and other tools to help you stay on track. Create a distraction-free environment. Find a quiet workspace where you can focus without interruptions. Turn off your phone or put it in another room. Practice mindfulness. Cultivate the ability to be present in the moment, resisting the urge to constantly check your phone or browse the internet. Take breaks. Step away from your devices regularly to give your brain a rest and recharge your focus. Remember, technology is a tool, not a master. By using it mindfully and setting healthy boundaries, you can harness its power for good and avoid the pitfalls of digital distraction. You can reclaim your focus, boost your productivity, and create a more fulfilling and balanced life in the digital age. Chapter 11. Confronting the Monkey. Strategies for Self-Control. We've spent a good amount of time getting to know the instant gratification monkey, that mischievous resident of our minds who thrives on instant rewards and shudders at the mere mention of effort. But now it's time to take charge and show that monkey who's boss. Confronting the monkey isn't about banishing it to some remote island, though that does sound tempting. It's about understanding its tactics, managing its impulses, and developing strategies to make choices that align with our long-term goals. Think of it as a playful wrestling match, a friendly tug-of-war where you learn to anticipate the monkey's moves and counter them with your own clever strategies. It's about building self-control, that inner strength that allows you to resist temptations, delay gratification, and stay focused on what truly matters. So, how do we wrestle this monkey into submission? Here are a few techniques to add to your arsenal. 1. The power of why. The monkey thrives on instant gratification, but it's easily distracted by a compelling why. Connect your tasks to your deeper values and goals. Remind yourself why you're doing this, how it contributes to your bigger picture, and the long-term benefits it will bring. When the monkey starts whispering temptations, Counter with a powerful why that reignites your motivation. 2. The just 5 minutes trick. The monkey hates getting started, but it's surprisingly easy to trick. Tell yourself you'll only work on the task for 5 minutes. Once you get started, you'll often find that your momentum carries you forward, and those 5 minutes turn into 15, 30, or even an hour. The monkey's initial resistance fades away, replaced by a sense of accomplishment and flow. 3. Break it down. The monkey loves to overwhelm you with the sheer size of a task. Counter this by breaking it down into smaller, more manageable chunks. This makes the task seem less daunting and allows you to celebrate small victories along the way, boosting your motivation and keeping the monkey at bay. 4. The Pomodoro technique. This time management method involves working in focused bursts with short breaks in between. Set a timer for 25 minutes, work with intense focus, then take a 5-minute break. Repeat this cycle 4 times, then take a longer break. This structured approach helps you maintain focus, avoid burnout, and outsmart the monkey's desire for constant distraction. 5. Mindfulness meditation. This practice involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It helps you become more aware of your thoughts and feelings, including the monkey's tempting whispers. By observing these thoughts without reacting to them, you can gain greater control over your impulses and make more conscious choices. 6. The temptation bundling hack. Combine something you enjoy with something you need to do. Listen to your favorite podcast while you exercise, watch a TV show while you fold laundry, or reward yourself with a treat after completing a challenging task. This helps you associate the less desirable task with something pleasurable, making it more appealing to your monkey brain. 7. Create a distraction-free zone. The monkey thrives in environments filled with distractions. Create a dedicated workspace free from temptations. Turn off your phone, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and let your family know you need some uninterrupted time. 8. Find an accountability partner. Team up with a friend, colleague, or mentor who can help you stay on track. Share your goals, track your progress, and encourage each other. Knowing that someone is holding you accountable can be a powerful motivator, even when the monkey is whispering sweet temptations. 9. Celebrate your wins. Acknowledge your progress and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. This reinforces positive behavior and motivates you to keep going. The monkey loves to focus on what you haven't done, but you can counter this by focusing on what you have accomplished. 10. Practice self-compassion. We all slip up from time to time. Don't beat yourself up if you succumb to the monkey's charms. Instead, acknowledge your mistake, learn from it, and move on. Self-compassion is key to building resilience and staying motivated on your journey towards conquering procrastination. Confronting the monkey is an ongoing process, a playful dance of self-control and resilience. By understanding its tactics, developing effective strategies, and practicing self-compassion, you can tame this mischievous creature and reclaim control of your time and your life. Chapter 12. Befriending the Panic Monster. Harnessing the power of deadlines. We've met the panic monster, that fearsome creature lurking in the shadows of our minds, ready to pounce when deadlines loom. But what if, instead of fearing this beast, we learned to befriend it? What if we could harness its power for good, transforming it from a source of stress into a catalyst for productivity? It might sound counterintuitive, but the panic monster, with its adrenaline-fueled energy and laser focus, can actually be a valuable ally in our quest to conquer procrastination. The key is to understand its nature, anticipate its arrival, and channel its power in a way that supports our goals. Think of it as a wild stallion, a powerful force that needs to be tamed and trained. Instead of letting it run rampant, causing chaos and destruction, we can learn to ride it, guiding its energy in a direction that serves us. So how do we befriend this fearsome creature? Here are a few strategies to help you harness the power of deadlines. 1. Embrace the deadline. Instead of dreading deadlines, view them as opportunities to focus your energy and achieve your goals. Deadlines provide structure, a sense of urgency that can propel you into action. Embrace the challenge and view the deadline as a finish line to cross, not a threat to avoid. 2. Set your own deadlines. Don't wait for external deadlines to dictate your schedule. Set your own deadlines for personal projects, goals, and even everyday tasks. This helps you cultivate a sense of self-discipline and avoid the procrastination trap of someday. 3. Break down the task. The panic monster thrives on overwhelm. Counter this by breaking down large tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. This makes the task seem less daunting and allows you to celebrate small victories along the way, reducing the monster's power and keeping your motivation high. 4. Create a realistic schedule. Don't fall into the trap of overestimating your abilities and underestimating the time required to complete a task. Create a realistic schedule that accounts for potential setbacks and unexpected delays. This helps you avoid the last-minute panic and the cortisol-fueled frenzy of the panic monster's full wrath. 5. Use time boxing. This technique involves allocating a specific amount of time to a task and sticking to it. Set a timer and work with focused attention until the timer goes off. This helps you avoid getting bogged down in perfectionism or distractions, and it creates a sense of urgency that can be surprisingly motivating. 6. Prioritize and delegate. Not all tasks are created equal. Identify the most important tasks and prioritize them accordingly. If possible, delegate less important tasks to others, freeing up your time and energy to focus on what truly matters. 7. Visualize success. Imagine yourself completing the task successfully, meeting the deadline with ease, and enjoying the sense of accomplishment. Visualization can be a powerful tool for motivation, helping you overcome fear and self-doubt. 8. Reward yourself. Set up a system of rewards for meeting deadlines and achieving goals. This helps you associate positive feelings with completing tasks, reinforcing the habit of productivity and reducing the need for the panic monster's fear-based motivation. 9. Practice mindfulness. When the panic monster starts to rear its head, take a moment to breathe deeply and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Mindfulness can help you calm your mind, reduce anxiety, and make more conscious choices. 10. Learn from your experiences. Each encounter with the panic monster is an opportunity to learn and grow. Reflect on what triggered the panic, how you responded, and what you can do differently next time. With practice, you can learn to anticipate the monster's arrival, manage its influence, and even turn it into a source of motivation. Befriending the panic monster is about transforming fear into fuel, using the pressure of deadlines to propel you towards your goals. It's about recognizing that this fearsome creature, while often unwelcome, can be a powerful ally in your quest to conquer procrastination and live a more productive and fulfilling life. Chapter 13. The Long Game. Finding Your Purpose and Passion. We've explored the treacherous terrain of Someday I'll, wrestled with the instant gratification monkey, and even befriended the panic monster. But now it's time to delve deeper, to explore the underlying currents that shape our procrastination habits. It's time to play the long game, to connect with our deeper purpose and passion. Because here's the thing, procrastination isn't just about laziness or poor time management. It's often a symptom of a deeper disconnect, a misalignment between our actions and our values. When we're not engaged in activities that truly matter to us, it's easy to fall prey to the allure of distractions and the seductive whispers of someday. Think of it this way. Imagine you're a ship sailing across the ocean. Without a clear destination, you're at the mercy of the winds and currents, drifting aimlessly, vulnerable to storms and distractions. But with a clear destination in mind, a guiding star to navigate by, you can chart a course, adjust your sails, and weather any storm that comes your way. Finding your purpose and passion is like setting that destination, establishing a clear direction for your life's journey. It's about identifying what truly matters to you, what makes your heart sing, and what gives your life meaning. This isn't always an easy task. It requires introspection, self-reflection, and a willingness to explore the depths of your own being. It might involve questioning your assumptions, challenging your beliefs, and stepping outside your comfort zone. But the rewards of this journey are immeasurable. When you connect with your purpose and passion, you tap into a wellspring of motivation, a driving force that propels you forward even in the face of challenges and setbacks. So how do you embark on this journey of self-discovery? Here are a few compass points to guide you. 1. Explore your values, what truly matters to you. What principles guide your decisions and actions? Your values are the foundation of your purpose, the guiding principles that shape your life's direction. Take some time to reflect on your core values and identify how they can inform your choices and actions. 2. Identify your interests. What activities make your heart sing? What do you enjoy doing so much that you lose track of time? Your interests are clues to your passions, the activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Explore your interests, experiment with new hobbies, and discover what truly excites you. 3. Reflect on your strengths. What are you good at? What comes naturally to you? Your strengths are your unique talents and abilities, the tools you can use to make a difference in the world. Identify your strengths and find ways to utilize them in your personal and professional life. 4. Consider your impact. How do you want to contribute to the world? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Thinking about your impact can help you connect with a sense of purpose beyond yourself. Consider how your skills and passions can be used to make a positive difference in the lives of others. 5. Experiment and explore. Don't be afraid to try new things. Step outside your comfort zone and explore different paths. The journey of self-discovery is often one of trial and error, of learning and growing through experience. Embrace the unknown and allow yourself to be surprised by what you discover. 6. Seek inspiration. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch documentaries, and connect with people who inspire you. Surround yourself with positive influences that encourage you to pursue your passions and live a purposeful life. 7. Practice gratitude. Take time to appreciate the good things in your life, the people you love, the opportunities you have, and the experiences that have shaped you. Gratitude can help you cultivate a positive mindset and appreciate the journey, even when faced with challenges. 8. Be patient. Finding your purpose and passion is not a race. It's a journey of self-discovery that takes time, patience, and self-compassion. Don't be discouraged if you don't have all the answers right away. Trust the process and allow yourself to unfold naturally. 9. Embrace imperfection. Perfectionism can be a major obstacle on the path to purpose. Remember that it's okay to make mistakes, to change your mind, and to adjust your course along the way. Embrace the imperfections of the journey and allow yourself to learn and grow from your experiences. 10. Live with intention. Once you've connected with your purpose and passion, make a conscious effort to align your actions with your values. Set goals that reflect your aspirations and make choices that support your overall well-being. Live each day with intention and strive to make a positive impact on the world around you. Finding your purpose and passion is a lifelong journey, a continuous process of self-discovery and growth. Chapter 14. Building Habits for Success, from Procrastination to Productivity. We've delved into the depths of procrastination, explored its psychological roots, and even befriended the fearsome panic monster. But now it's time to shift gears and focus on building a more productive future. It's time to ditch the someday mentality and embrace the power of habits. Because here's the secret, conquering procrastination isn't just about willpower or motivation. It's about creating a system of habits that support your goals and make productivity an automatic response. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't just throw a bunch of bricks together and hope for the best, would you? No, you'd start with a solid foundation, carefully lay each brick, and gradually build a structure that can withstand the test of time. Habits are the bricks of productivity, the building blocks of a successful and fulfilling life. They are the automatic behaviors, the ingrained routines that shape our daily actions and determine our long-term outcomes. The good news is that habits, like muscles, can be trained and strengthened with consistent effort. By understanding the science of habit formation, we can break free from the grip of procrastination and build a foundation for lasting success. So how do we build habits that support our goals and propel us towards productivity? Let's explore the key principles. 1. Start small. The instant gratification monkey loves to overwhelm you with grand ambitions and lofty goals. But when it comes to building habits, it's best to start small. Choose one specific habit you want to develop and focus on making it a consistent part of your routine. Once that habit is established, you can gradually add more. 2. Make it obvious. The more obvious a habit is, the easier it is to remember and perform. Use visual cues, reminders, and prompts to make your desired habit stand out. Put your running shoes by the door, place your vitamins on the kitchen counter, or set a reminder on your phone to practice mindfulness. 3. Make it attractive. The more appealing a habit is, the more likely you are to stick with it. Pair your desired habit with something you enjoy, or find ways to make it more rewarding. Listen to your favorite music while you exercise, reward yourself with a healthy treat after completing a task, or join a group of like-minded individuals who share your goals. 4. Make it easy. The easier a habit is to perform, the more likely you are to stick with it. Remove any obstacles or barriers that might prevent you from performing the habit. Prepare your workout clothes the night before, keep your workspace organized, or automate tasks whenever possible. 5. Make it satisfying. The more satisfying a habit is, the more likely you are to repeat it. Find ways to reward yourself for performing the habit, or track your progress to see how far you've come. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small, and acknowledge the positive impact your new habit is having on your life. 6. Stack your habits. Link your new habit to an existing habit, creating a chain reaction of productivity. For example, after brushing your teeth in the morning, you might meditate for 5 minutes. Or, after finishing your lunch, you might take a short walk. This habit stacking technique helps you build momentum and create a seamless flow of positive behaviors. 7. Find your tribe. Be in the company of people who will help you achieve your objectives and improve. Join a group of people who share your interests. Find an accountability partner or seek out a mentor who can guide you on your journey. Having a support system can make a huge difference in your ability to stick with your habits and achieve your goals. 8. Be patient and persistent. Building habits takes time and effort. Don't get discouraged if you slip up occasionally. Just get back on track and keep moving forward. Consistency is key, and with patience and persistence, you can transform your habits and your life. 9. Track your progress, monitor your progress, and celebrate your successes. Use a habit tracker, journal, or app to keep track of your daily actions and see how far you've come. This visual reminder of your progress can be a powerful motivator, encouraging you to keep going even when faced with challenges. 10. Embrace the journey. Building habits is a lifelong process, a continuous journey of self-improvement and growth. Embrace the ups and downs, the successes and setbacks, and enjoy the process of transforming your life, one habit at a time. By understanding the science of habit formation and implementing these strategies, you can break free from the shackles of procrastination and build a foundation for lasting success. You can create a system of habits that support your goals, propel you towards productivity, and empower you to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Chapter 15. The Journey to Productivity. Embrace the imperfect and celebrate progress. Congratulations, fellow traveler. You've journeyed through the intricate landscape of procrastination, explored its hidden corners, and faced its fearsome creatures. You've learned to tame the instant gratification monkey, befriend the panic monster, and connect with your deeper purpose and passion. But the journey doesn't end here. Conquering procrastination isn't a destination, it's an ongoing adventure, a lifelong pursuit of productivity and fulfillment. And here's the most important lesson of all. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about embracing the imperfect, celebrating progress, and cultivating a mindset of growth and resilience. Because let's face it, we're all human. We all have moments of weakness, days when the allure of someday seems irresistible, and times when the panic monster threatens to derail our best intentions. But that's okay. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. It's about getting back on track after a setback, learning from our mistakes, and continuing to move forward, one step at a time. So as you embark on this ongoing journey of productivity, remember these key principles. 1. Embrace imperfection. Let go of the need to be perfect. Accept that mistakes are inevitable. Setbacks are part of the process, and progress is often messy and non-linear. Embrace your imperfections, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. 2. Celebrate progress. Acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small. Celebrate your victories, big and small, and recognize the effort you've put in. Focusing on your progress, rather than your shortcomings, helps you stay motivated and build momentum. 3. Cultivate self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially when you stumble. Treat yourself with the same understanding and compassion you would offer a friend. Avoid self-criticism and focus on learning and growing from your experiences. 4. Practice gratitude. Take time to appreciate the good things in your life, the opportunities you have, and the progress you've made. Gratitude helps you cultivate a positive mindset and appreciate the journey, even when faced with challenges. 5. Focus on the present moment. Don't dwell on past mistakes or worry about future uncertainties. Focus on the present moment, the task at hand, and the choices you can make right now to move forward. 6. Find joy in the process. Productivity isn't just about achieving goals. It's about finding joy in the process of creating, learning, and growing. Embrace the challenges, savor the small victories, and find satisfaction in the journey itself. 7. Seek support. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Connect with friends, family, mentors, or coaches who can offer support, guidance, and encouragement. Sharing your struggles and celebrating your successes with others can make the journey more enjoyable and fulfilling. 8. Remember your why. Connect your actions to your deeper purpose and passion. Remind yourself why you're doing this, how it contributes to your bigger picture, and the long-term benefits it will bring. This helps you stay motivated and focused, even when faced with distractions and setbacks. 9. Embrace flexibility. Life is full of surprises, and sometimes our plans need to change. Be flexible, adapt to new circumstances, and adjust your course as needed. Don't be afraid to deviate from your original plan if a new opportunity arises or a different path emerges. 10. Never stop learning. The journey to productivity is a lifelong pursuit of learning and growth. Embrace new challenges, seek out new knowledge, and continuously refine your skills and strategies. The more you learn, the more equipped you'll be to navigate the ever-changing landscape of productivity and achieve your goals. The journey to productivity is not a linear path, but a winding road with twists, turns, and unexpected detours. Embrace the adventure, celebrate your progress, and cultivate a mindset of growth and resilience. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent, learning from your experiences, and continuing to move forward, one step at a time. And as you continue on this journey, remember that you're not alone. We're all in this together, navigating the challenges of procrastination and striving to live more productive and fulfilling lives. So let's support each other, celebrate our successes, and embrace the imperfect journey of productivity together. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have an amazing day. I would be really grateful if you could share and comment.